Hello everyone, welcome to your prenatal yoga practice. It's so wonderful that you have chosen to empower and embrace your pregnancy through wellness and yoga. And thank you so much for joining me today. Today's practice will focus a lot on using our breath as a tool to calm and open the body. Our breath is amazing as it allows us to become present and it grounds us to where we are right here. As well, we will use yoga poses to create strength, tone, and mobility in our body. Yoga is amazing for opening and creating movement and mobility through the pelvis and hips, which certainly benefits a safe and healthy labor and delivery. So we will get started right away. I'd like to invite you to pause the video if you need to grab a yoga mat, a couple of couch pillows, even a couple of blankets. If you have some yoga blocks, these will be wonderful. And if you don't, grab a couple of sturdy books, something that can support you. I've also included in the practice a chair today as we're going to be doing some balancing poses. So you might want to set a chair up as well at the end of your yoga mat. It will be handy if you have a yoga bolster to bring one along. If not, that's totally fine. Make sure you're dressed comfortably and you're warm. Take a sip of water or tea and we will get started. It's important in any yoga practice to stay within your edges of comfortable. So stay where you feel safe. Do not come into a pose so deeply that you feel sharp pain or burning sensation. This pose is for you and your baby. This yoga class is for you and your baby to receive. So it's all about taking what you need from today. Make sure you rest when you need to and you move when you want to. So we're starting seated, and if you've been sitting for a minute or two with your legs crossed already, just go ahead and shake them out. Just let the blood flow back into your knees. I'm sitting up on a yoga bolster. You can sit up on a pillow or a folded blanket. So this will bring your pelvis just a little bit higher than your knees are, and it will just allow for more comfort in the knees. And then we're going to change the cross of our legs. So if you can remember which way your legs were crossed a moment ago, just go ahead and change that up. It can be nice to use these yoga blocks or your books to just prop the knees up a little bit if they feel tender or sensitive in this cross-legged position. Lengthen up through the spine and go ahead and roll the shoulders down the back just a couple of times. And it's comfortable, even just close your eyes and start to feel your body from within. Imagine that the crown of your head is slowly rising up toward the ceiling as you root down through the hips and the pelvis. So bringing length and space into the spine, into the posture, helps us to create a little bit of a deeper breath here as we begin. Go ahead and place one hand over your heart and your other hand over your belly. And start to breathe into these hands. So see if you can fill the breath and use the breath to lift the hands. And as you exhale, just feel that contracting. Feel the hands coming down, the breath leaving the body. Deep breath in. Breath fills the hands. And exhaling, letting that go. Breathing in deeply. breathing out completely. And continuing with your breath and the pace that works for you today. And perhaps even inviting a little bit of a pause or a little bit of space at the top of your inhale, where you simply just hold the breath in for a moment and feel its fullness before letting it go all the way. Breathing in deeply, I invite you now to open your mouth with your exhale and let this lower jaw relax. Breathing in deeply, let a sigh come out of your mouth with your exhale. Breathing in deeply. Breathing out with an audible sigh. Breathing in deeply. Letting it go through the mouth, the jaw, the throat, the chest. Listening to the sound of your inhale. And hearing the sound of the exhale. 2 more times now. Beautiful. And now acknowledge the life within you. And knowing that this practice is for both you and your baby, set an intention of deep self-care, deep nourishment for yourself and for babe, and deep awareness of yourself as life giver. Commit to doing only the poses today and the movements that resonate with your body, ones that serve and nourish and bring space and joy within. Now release your hands and bring them together and seal those intentions into your practice. And take one more breath. Really good. Begin now to stretch your legs out. Let some blood flow back in again. Give them a little shake, maybe a windshield wiper, the shins. And one more time, and just for a moment, cross the legs. So this is great for opening up the hips as long as you keep changing the way that you're crossing the legs. Shift around and start to bring some movement in now. So start to circle the torso in a way that feels nice around the spine and through the hips. Go in the other direction now. Feel the heart open forward as you circle forward, and the back press toward the wall as you circle back. Nice. And then as you settle back toward center, take a deep breath in and bring the arms out wide to your sides and all the way up and overhead. Exhaling, join the palms and slide them down to your center. And go in reverse now with your next inhale. And exhale, open the arms out wide to your sides. And one more time, big breath in here. And exhale, sliding them down. And inhaling through the midline. And exhale, settle your hands at your sides. We'll slide into just one hand now. And bring the other arm all the way up and overhead. So just a nice side stretch here. Breathing into the side ribs. Turning the gaze upward slightly if that serves your neck. Or turning the head down if that's better towards your lower hands. As you inhale, slowly come all the way up and move into your other side. Sliding that hand out nice and wide so that it serves as support for you. And breathing in into these upper side ribs. And then coming all the way back up, and one more time into each side, feeling how you're rooted down through your seat, and a little bit more supple, a little bit more able to bend through the upper body. Moving into that second side with a big breath in. Really good. And then exhale and come all the way back up. Right hand now comes over to that left knee, and we're just going to give ourselves a little bit of a turn and look toward the wall behind us. And then inhale and come back to center and turn toward your other side. So just gentle twisting here. Moving toward that range that feels nice in your body, like you're wringing out the spine and the ribs and even the organs a little bit. Really good. One more time on each side. Just feeling how you turn. And then coming back to center. As you inhale, again, come to center. Bring your arms all the way up and overhead, and then place your palms in front of your shins. And let yourself round a little bit like a cat here. Tuck your chin toward your throat. As you inhale, look forward, slide the heart forward, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, round again like a cat. Walk your hands all the way back towards you. Roll yourself up. Take your hands behind you, so plant into your hands. Extend your legs all the way forward. Oh, lift your heart up here and feel how this can open up the chest, the heart space, the collarbones. Really good. And then start to make your way to tabletop position. So coming to all fours at the top of your mat. And if you haven't already, place your blocks or your books, your supports toward the top of your mat here. And we'll start to spread out the hands nice and wide, bringing some space between each finger. And bring your knees as well right underneath your hips so that you really feel the stability of this position, of these 4 points, really deeply supporting the rest of your body. As you exhale, now round your spine toward cat stretch. Tuck the chin. And as you inhale, simply lengthen your spine and look forward again. Exhaling again, rounding the spine and feeling the hips move maybe a little closer to your heels. And inhale, that nice long neutral spine, just gazing forward slightly. And exhale again, rounding. Feeling the hips draw back toward your heels. And inhaling, coming to a neutral spine. Now start to extend your left leg back behind you and reach your right arm forward. So opposite limbs here reaching. This is creating a sense of needing to stabilize and engage through the core. So you can hold on to this, and you can even lift up that back left leg and reach out through right fingers and left heel. Take a breath. Nice. And now bring it all back underneath you. And try the other side. Extend the right leg back, toes tuck under. Reach the left arm forward. Find your balance and even start to lift up that back leg, pressing out through the heel, reaching forward through left fingertips. Really good. Start to release that back down. Come back to your first side. And if it allows, start to move with your breath. So that as you inhale, you're extending to this bird dog. And as you exhale, you're coming back to center and then switching sides for that next in-breath. And exhale. And inhale. And we want to try to feel a lot of stillness through our center body. Like we're not rocking or shifting side to side too much as we change sides. Really good. One more time. And then take Take all 4 points back around the spine. Walk the knees a little bit wider apart here, almost as wide as the edges of your yoga mat, and settle your body back towards child's pose. So you've created space between the thighs here for your belly to rest down. Forehead can come to the block or to the floor. Take your palms together overhead, and then lift your hands up, tuck your thumbs into the back of your neck. Notice the sense of stillness that comes with this child's pose. Feel your hips settle down and back, and the broadness you're creating across your lower back. And take another breath. And let it go. And slowly walk yourself back up into your hands, into all fours, and walk the knees back underneath the hips to support you. Take a knee out wide to the side now and just start to circle through the ball and socket of this hip. So just bringing the mobility that you have today here. And after a few times, go the other direction. Try to stay really still and stable again through the rest of the body. Really good. Settle this knee back down under its hip and switch into the other side. Finding the range of motion that's there for you today, and just pressing against the edges of that movement a few times, and then switching directions. Really good. And now settle that knee back down. Tuck your toes under now. So just see what it's like to get all 5 toes of each foot, if you can, to tuck under. And then move your hips back towards your heels. And walk your hands back towards your knees. And pause here. So this is a deep foot stretch for the bottoms of your feet. Great for strengthening and lifting your inner arches. You can stay just as you are, or you can even sit up on your heels. But we don't want to bring any sense of acute pain or burning into the bottoms of the feet. So just go where is best for you right now. Take a couple of breaths. Noticing how we can both be aware of intensity, which is happening in the bottoms of the feet, and at the same time be aware of ease as the breath moves in and out of the body and the shoulders settle down away from the ears. Take one more breath. And then as you exhale, untuck your toes. Really good. And tap the bottoms or the tops of your feet against the mat. And now shift your hips back toward your heels again. This time the tops of your feet are flat on the mat. And you can stay just like this if this is better for your knees. Or you can even tuck a blanket between the backs of your thighs and your calves just for a little bit more support. If it feels right for your body, sit all the way back into your heels. And we're going to extend one arm forward and just give the rest a little bit of a stretch. So we're countering the movements of the tabletop and the movements of the coming poses, the downward facing dogs. Finding breath and space here along the top of the wrist. And then switching sides, spreading the fingers a little, lengthening out through the arms. And give your wrists some rotation, both directions. And if your wrists get sore throughout this, make sure that you do these counter movements as much as you need to. So it's really great that we're starting some of this, these yoga poses, because these poses that now are strengthening us and opening us up are also going to come in really handy as labor and delivery help. So if you can get strong through your wrists here and get strong through this position of tabletop, you can really enjoy using this position when you're going through surging and contractions. This can be a really great place to come to if you've got a lot of labor in the back or just a lot of compression here at any time before your big day. So a little bit of that side to side movement can help, as can coming down into the elbows for puppy dog pose. So letting the head hang for a moment here, because this is a really nice place to come to reduce that pressure that can start to lie in the lower back as the pregnancy starts to get longer and longer as we reach the end. Nice. So you notice hips stay over the knees and the heart is melting down here. Just creates a really nice shape for the body to rest into. Now start to come back up into your hands. Spread the hands out nice and wide. We're going to tuck the toes under now again and lift the knees a little bit off the mat. And this is strong. This is where we find our strength and our endurance. Start to lift the knees and the hips even higher and press your heart back towards your thighs, finding downward facing dog. Make adjustments. So it's always nice to just walk one heel out and then the other heel out. Start to let your head hang if you can, just heavy and down. You can stay here for a couple of breaths, or you can return to the puppy dog pose on your knees and your elbows, finding inhale and exhale. And now come back to your knees. Look forward as you breathe in. And as you exhale, round your spine to cat stretch and really open the shoulder blades apart from each other and lift the heart up through them. As you inhale again, find that nice neutral long spine. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees and hips one more time. And this time, walk your hands back toward your feet. Walk your feet wider. So you might want to take them even as wide as the edges of your yoga mat are, to accommodate your belly, your breasts, your thighs. Now bring your elbows up to rest on your lower thighs. And again, let the head hang down. So this really creates traction for the back and the sides of the neck, which can be tense and tired and sore. So just hanging here for a breath or two, letting the elbows on the thighs really be a base of support for your upper body. And if your body feels inclined to just sort of shift side to side or sway to the sides, let that happen. Feel your breath within deep. Really good. Now start to look forward and turn your toes out. So your toes turn out, your heels are turning in somewhat, and we're going to start to lower the hips down toward yogi squat. So bringing the elbows toward the insides of the knees, lifting up through the heart. Taking a breath, and then lifting the hips back up. So we're going to come in and out a few times. As you're ready, start to come down, maybe even a little bit deeper. And as you exhale again, lift up through the hips. So we want to find our way into a pose that's going to serve us here. Oftentimes, yogi squat is used as a birthing position. And if not that, it can at least alleviate some pressure and compression through the lower backs and create deep mobility in the hips. So in and out. And one more option that I would recommend is to use a chair back or even your counter to help you with a little bit more support. And if this isn't in your daily practice, if you're not a big yogi squatter, it might take a little bit of time, and that's okay, to find the mobility. So be patient and trust that it will come. If you, however, have some injury or pain to the knees, this might be one that you have to leave out, and that's absolutely okay because there's so many ways that we can get here. Okay, nice. Now press up through the hips. Really good. Turn the toes forward again. And we're going to roll up really slowly, really, really slowly, just to allow our blood pressures to settle. So if you feel any lightheadedness on your way up here, just pause or even go back down to the floor. And we'll let everybody come all the way to be standing, and we'll meet right here in an upward salute. So the feet can stay wide. And as you're ready, bring the arms all the way up and overhead. And then reach for your opposite elbows. So settling the forearms overhead. Start to lift the heart, even maybe lift the gaze up a little bit. And let's bend the knees too. So bending your knees a little bit will drop the tailbone down and just keep you nice and long through that low back. Big breath in, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. And as you exhale, bring the arms all the way down to your sides. And then we'll do that again. This time we'll switch up the cross of our forearms. So the forearm that was in front now comes behind. Lift the heart, the gaze, soften the knees. Nice. And then release. And that can be a great way to release pressure and tension that we hold from carrying so much stuff in our upper body. So through our thoughts, through the tension in the neck and the shoulders. Let's shake all that out now and let it all go. Now come to be standing at the back of your mat. We're going to practice a little bit of balancing here. So start to spread out, if you can, your left toes and press down through four corners of that left foot. Stand tall, look forward. As you're ready, extend your right foot forward like you're taking a giant step. And then step into that front right foot. And then step the left knee forward and up. And step into that left foot. Now, as you bring this right foot forward, here we'll pause, standing into the left foot. And then cross the right ankle over that left knee and bend into your left knee here. So you're making a bit of a shelf. Take your hands to your heart. So finding that balance, or if balance really isn't in your priority today, but you really need this hip opener, take your hands to the countertop or to a chair. Start to look down and even round through the spine if you like. Keep pulling the hips back toward the wall behind you. Breath in. And then start to make your way out. Extend the right leg forward and step down. Turn on your mat now, face the back of your mat. And we'll begin on the other side, so pressing down through that right foot, finding the four corners, rooting down and extending as you're ready, the left leg forward. Breath in. And then take that giant step, press down through the left foot. Take the right foot forward now. And now we'll press down through the right foot. Nice, and extend the left leg forward. Start to bend into this right standing leg. Cross the left ankle over that knee. And start to sit back until you really start to feel that sensation, that intensity through the outer left hip. Find a breath. And let it out. Really good. Begin to release this. Step back down. Turn back toward the top of your mat. Take a big breath in here, feet are wide. And exhale your hands to your heart. Pull your hips back, take your elbows back to your upper knees or lower thighs. Fold forward. Let your head hang down. Find the breath. Start to maybe explore straightening the legs and then bending the knees and bringing a little bit more space into the backs of your legs. Nice. And then begin that really slow motion, rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Roll the shoulders down the back. Feel yourself settle and safe and standing. And then walk to the top of your mat. Making sure your blocks are there for you. Take a breath in, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. And again, pull the hips back. Take the elbows to the knees. Find that safe place to lengthen your spine. Now as you inhale, walk your hands down to your blocks and step your left foot back. So we're gonna come into some lunges here. Take your back knee to the floor as you're ready. And pull your hips back just a little bit. So we want to take now the blocks to the inside of our front foot so that we have this space of a bit of a wider front foot. So your foot should still stay landed on the mat, not on the outside of the mat. Good. And then rock forward and rock back. Slowly bringing some mobility to the fronts of the thighs and the hip flexors. Really good. Now with the back toes tucked under, lift the back knee and take a walk with your blocks here to the center, the long edge of your mat. Fold yourself to wide leg forward bend. Hands to the blocks. You can even have your chair here if that's better for you, and have your hands up a little bit higher on chair. Good. Now keep walking toward the back end of your mat. The blocks stay, or the hands stay to the inside of this front foot. We're coming down into the back knee. So we've switched up sides here, and we can just begin to coax the space into the pelvis. So as it feels good in your body. Really good. Now lift the back knee again. Take that walk back toward the center of the long edge of your mat and fold, releasing the back body. Inhaling, look up. Lift up that nice flat spine. And then walk all the way back up to the top of your mat, to your first side. Take the back knee to the floor again. This time take the top of your back foot down as well. You can use a hand on this front knee to come all the way up to crescent lunge, reaching the left arm forward and up. And as you find balance, maybe that right arm comes up as well. Lift the heart here and take the elbows nice and wide out to your sides, bending at the elbows and finding a breath. And then as you exhale, draw the elbows toward each other, hands back to the blocks. Lift the back knee. Take that walk back to the center of the long edge of your mat. Fold. And then coming up to that flat spine with a breath in and walking toward the back of your mat. So second side here, again, settling down. Using this front knee as a bit of a shelf or a hand up. Crescent lunge, breath in. Maybe both arms reach up. Maybe both elbows come wide. So just to create space through the chest and the heart. Nice. And then hands back to blocks. Back knee lifts. Hands walk back to that center of the long edge of your mat. This time, turn your heels in, turn your toes out again like we did in yogi squat. Bend your knees a little bit and use the strength of your legs to push down through your feet and come all the way to stand. Good, arms wide, 5-pointed star here. Take a breath, let yourself settle. So if you feel any lightheadedness, you might come back down halfway and just take a moment to slow it down. Find your breath. Now heels turn out again if they have turned back in, coming down to goddess pose. We're bending the knees deeply, and if you look at your knees, they should point to the same direction your toes are pointing. And we're lengthening through the thighs and strengthening through the hips, creating a little bit of mobility here. And the palms can shine forward energetically. And we're standing here in our feminine power. We're standing in the power of the goddess, the ability to be so strong inside the edges of our softness. Inhale, come down deeper, and exhale, press out and straighten. And inhale, lower down. And exhale, press out. Good. Inhaling down. And exhaling. And inhaling. And exhaling. And inhaling. Nice. And exhale. Limbs straight. Turn the left toes forward toward the long edge of your mat and turn the right toes so that they point up at the top of your mat. Now bend into that right knee. So warrior two here. Keep the arms extended and strong. So this is maybe where you're feeling work and effort. Relax the shoulders down, reach out through the arms, take a breath and feel your power. Nice. As you exhale, bring the palms together. Turn the right toes in. Turn the left toes out. We'll bend into that knee and open out wide again through the arms. Look over the left fingers and say to yourself, I am life giver. My body was made to create and bear life. I am so strong. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale. Breathing in one more time, move back to your goddess. Open the arms wide, turn the heels in, toes out, lower down. And inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale down. Nice, 2 more times. Beauty. Open the arms wide one more time, and then as your toes turn in, take your hands to your heart. Touch your fingertips to third eye, to awareness of being right here. And then open the arms wide one more time, turn the right toes forward, celebrate the warrior inside. This amazing fierce strength. Right arm comes all the way up now. Take your left arm behind your back, peaceful warrior. Peaceful pregnancy. Peaceful delivery. Exhale, back to warrior two, and then back to that centered place. Inhale, arms open wide, left side here, reaching forward through that left knee, extending out through the arm. And then moving to that exalted, peaceful warrior. Peaceful pregnancy. Peaceful delivery, birth. And then come back to center. Take your hands to your hips now. Roll the shoulders down the back. Just release and soften those arms. Draw the shoulders back and the elbows back as well. Bend the knees forward. And let yourself fold one last time here, wide leg forward bend. Lead with your heart. Keep drawing the elbows back toward the wall behind you or the ceiling above you. Release the head down. Nice, and now release the hands from the hips, slide them down the legs. Maybe let them rest on your blocks or on the floor. Take 2 more breaths here. And then start that journey of walking your hands or your blocks back up to the top of your mat. Step back here, finding that tabletop position again. Open your knees wide and settle your hips back towards your heels. So finding child's pose again. And maybe a little bit more restfully, you can draw the bolster now or your pillows so that your sternum or your breastbone can rest on this support. Turn a cheek. I want up your upper body with your support, if you're using it, more toward your inner right thigh and settle down again here. So we've just sort of shifted over to the side. Nice, and then start to move this upper body and its support over to the other side. Start to slowly bring yourself back to center and up. You come to your seat, and as you sit, go ahead and reach for your thinner pillow or a fold of your blanket and settle it underneath your bum. So again, the hips just lifting just an inch or so off the floor, not too much here. Let's shake out the legs, lean back into our hands, plant the feet. Just go ahead and lift your shins, windshield wiper from side to side. So just feel how that feels for you and your body. Maybe pausing, enjoying, resisting any urge to rush through anything now. Good. Now come back to center. Extend your legs long. And then tuck the sole of one foot into the other inner thigh. So this extended leg can be out a little bit wider if that feels good in the hip, if that's doable. And that helps to create space for belly and baby. We're just going to give ourselves a little turn toward this extended leg and start to fold down, and use your hands as support here so that you don't feel vulnerable or like you're hanging through your upper body. Start to bow your head forward. Tuck your chin gently back towards your throat to lengthen the back and side of this neck. Feeling a release through the back of this side. So all the way up this back side of the body now. Slide your chin slowly across your collarbones. So go real slow here. Release that pressure and tension from your upper body, from your traps, places between your shoulder blades. One alternative or modification could be to stand up your bolster if you have one and rest your forehead against it so you feel even more support. Take another breath or two. And then start to slowly roll yourself up from your upper body. And bring this leg, if it's wide, bring it a little bit more towards center. And now pick up the leg that had the bent knee. And just start to rock this hip side to side, or rock the leg, getting into some hip mobility. And you can even start to encourage a bit of a circling through the ball and socket of this hip. And go both directions. Nice and slow. So the slower we go, the less momentum we use, and the more we call upon that natural mobility that we have, that we want. Nice. And now bring this top knee that you're holding on to a little bit closer so that it almost begins to stack over top of your bottom leg. Half shoelace. If Sit tall here, and with our hands at our sides, start to lead from your heart. So move the heart forward, and you'll start to feel that deep stretch and pressure through the bottom and outside edge of this extended leg. So another option here, if this simply just doesn't feel good in your body and it's not working, is to uncross the top leg and simply just cross at your ankles and fold forward. So calling back those beautiful intentions you set at the beginning of the practice, to be here today to nourish yourself and bathe, and using those intentions to know where you need to be right now, to know where the best place is for you to receive. Take a deep, slow breath in. Hold it in its fullness. And then let it go. Nice. As you breathe in, start to come up again really slowly. And extend this leg and take your hands again behind you. Let's plant the feet here and start to lift up through the heart. So just a little bit of a reversal here of our body's position. You can stay like this with this nice heart opener. You can even lift your hips and reverse tabletop and take a breath. And then set your hips back down into your seat and move into your other side. So extending the legs and then tucking the sole of your other foot in to that opposite thigh. Turn the body just slightly, just so you feel like you're turning toward the extended leg, and let yourself walk it out and fold forward. And often in these type of still poses, the pose intensity increases over time. So we don't have to go right to where we feel it the very most, right at the beginning. We can let time take care of building the pose, of building the space and the release in the body. Feel the head heavy, maybe sliding the chin again across the collarbones, inviting space and softness into the back and the sides of your neck. And then walk the hands back and slowly help yourself up. And bring this extended leg just a little bit more back towards center. And we'll reach for that other leg, that knee that was bent. And again, just start to rock the hip side to side. It's like you're inquiring into this hip, of its mobility, of its stored emotions or experiences. Maybe like you're inviting the doors of these hips to just open up and let out what no longer serves them. Finding that circular mobility, whatever really feels good and necessary for you. And then coaxing this knee to just cross and place over the bottom leg. Or returning to your crossed ankle position. So just making sure you know what feels best in your body. Take the hands a bit wider. Lead from the heart here. So at first we want to keep the spine long. We want to keep expanding forward, even if it's for just a micro distance. And then we can round and let the head go down. drawing into ourselves and into the depth of the breath. Noticing how as you deepen and retain the inhale, the sensation grows. The sense of space in your body increases. And this is so much of what yoga really is creating a deeper sense or sensation of spaciousness and self deep within. It's already there, but it's so important to just take the time to open up those doors of self, of peace and calm. Really nice. Now roll yourself up really slowly. Shake out your legs. Lean back, lift the heart. Take a breath. And then just one more time, plant the feet even just a bit wider apart and let your shins windshield wiper from side to side. And then as you come back to center, we'll bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose, and this brings symmetry back into the body. So you can not worry at all about how close you're bringing your heels. You can even push them away from you a little bit to create a bigger diamond shape in your center. You can start to round forward. I like to pull a pillow or bolster underneath the backs of my thighs for greater support. And just feel that forward fold. And if there's lots of pressure on your belly here, you might find some support that's just a little higher up for your head to rest on. Allow your shoulder blades to just sort of open apart from each other. Your wings are spreading out here. And see if you can feel your breath in your back lungs now, and your back ribs. Again, turn your chin side to side. Knowing that the slower you can do this, the more willing your neck and upper back is going to be to soften. And let's take about 3 more breaths. And now start to really slowly come up one vertebrae at a time, stacking. And your head is the last to lift up. And then lift your chin skyward and arc it here across the sky, dipping it down across the collarbones, moving really slowly with a few neck rolls. Letting this be a gesture of deep self-care and love. And as your chin dips down again, just reverse that direction. And then again, the next time the chin comes down, bring the head back up to center. And now it's time for our final pose, which is Shavasana. Traditionally, this is taken lying flat on your back. But due to pregnancy, it's not always comfortable to lie completely flat on your back. So I'd like to just show you a way that you can maybe find some comfort being on your back for a few moments. And of course, if it's simply not comfortable for you, you will lie on your side and just rest and integrate your practice in fetal position. So what you can do is take your blocks and set them up one flat halfway down a bolster and one on its middle height toward the end of your bolster. If you don't have a bolster like this, you can take a couple of blankets and you can roll them and then align them and then put a couple of pillows over top. So if this wasn't here, I would put blankets and then a couple pillows, or vice versa. So just to sort of create this inclined position for you to recline over. So I will keep my hips on the floor now, my bum on the floor, and even keep a little bit of space between the tailbone and the end of the support, the bolster of the pillow. And you can also take a rolled up blanket under the backs of your legs. And if you have an extra blanket, you should definitely cover yourself up for this period of rest as you lie back. Let this support really line up with your spine and make sure your head is supported. You can extend your legs fully. You can even, which is lovely, bring the soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana, in that butterfly position. You can pull more support underneath the backs of your thighs as well if you're going to try that. And now start to shut down the eyes again. Relax facial expression. Inquire within as to whether your hands are comfortable resting over your belly, over bait, or perhaps for just a little bit more of a chest opener, you can take your arms wide out to your sides and turn your palms upward. And let yourself settle here. Using your inner wisdom to determine if this is the best position for you right now, or if you'd like to grab your pillow and blanket and rest a little bit more on your side, just curled into yourself. Wherever you're at, relax. Deepen the breath. And watch as the whole exhale moves away from you until there's no breath within. And then breathe that whole breath in, softer now. Simply feel your whole breath moving away. This is a wonderful time to integrate the practice in deeply to your body, all the way to a cellular level. Just soak in the spaces you've created. Just soak in all of that strength that lies inside the edges of your feminine power, which is softness. practicing the letting go. Softness, overcoming the hard. Allowing our inner wisdom to show our body just how it is to mindfully relax. Practice the letting go of worry, tension, the letting go of fears, of that which we cannot control. Trusting that we were made to create and give life. Knowing that we are life bringer. Committing in the coming days and weeks to empower yourself by receiving support from those who are gathered around you during this special and sacred time. Empower yourself during this time with knowledge and with nourishment, with rest, with breath. Embrace movement. Embrace the life within. By listening to your support, by listening to empowering and beautiful and positive birthing stories. Listening to the goddess within you that already knows exactly what to do. Trust yourself, your wisdom, your beautiful heart. Trust your body. You were made to support and to grow and to give life. And now start to come back, perhaps moving your fingers and toes a little. Maybe stretching your arms overhead or lengthening your legs. Take time just to come back toward your day. And if you have some more time, stay here for a while if you'd like. Otherwise, roll to your side if you're not there already, and curl into yourself for a moment on the floor. Round your spine. Breathe toward yourself, towards your motherhood. And then take your time sitting up slowly, returning to where we started, Sukhasana, cross-legged position. settle back into here, just lengthen up your spine again. Maybe straighten up your crown. Roll your shoulders down your back. Feel your practice and the way that it echoes through your body, maybe even for the rest of your day today. And know that you can practice this in its entirety or just some parts every day that feels good for you. Take your hands together. Anjali Mudra. This is a gesture of sealing in the practice of prenatal yoga, the practice of self-care and self-love. So press your palms deeply toward each other and seal in all that you needed from the practice today. I wish you namaste and beautiful days ahead.